The moment millions of seniors and disability benefit recipients have been waiting for is almost here. Look at this. The Social Security 2026 Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, will get a Trump bump. Here's what to expect and why it might disappoint millions. For many Americans who depend on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and spousal benefits, this update could mean a major change in their monthly income. But before you celebrate, there's something important you need to understand. This so-called Trump bump might not be what everyone is expecting. Let's break down what's really happening and how much you might actually receive next year. The Trump bump explained. Over the last few months, President Trump has spoken multiple times about Social Security and Medicare. In one recent statement, he shocked many by saying these programs are about to be gone. While that sounded alarming, his comment referred to the financial strain these programs are facing, not an immediate shutdown. Trump and several policymakers have hinted that reforms or changes could be coming, possibly tied to how the COLA is calculated each year. That's where the term Trump bump comes from, an expected adjustment in Social Security benefits due to inflation trends influenced by current economic policies. Economists say, look at this. President Trump's policies are keeping inflation high, and it could stay that way for some time. And while inflation hurts spending power, it also tends to raise the COLA, since benefits are tied to inflation data. When will the 2026 COLA be announced? Normally, the COLA announcement happens in mid-October. But not this time. This year's COLA announcement has been delayed several days as we wait for data amid the government shutdown. All indications are a higher COLA than originally anticipated at the start of the year. Government offices were temporarily closed, and the final inflation report, the one used to calculate the COLA, couldn't be processed in time. So here's the official update. Look at this. Social Security beneficiaries will have to wait a few extra days for this year's COLA announcement. The government shutdown delayed the final CPI report needed to determine the exact increase for next year's benefits until October 24th. Yes, October 24th is now the new date millions are watching closely. How much could the increase be? Look at this. Here's precisely how much Social Security's 2026 Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, could raise monthly payments. Right now, experts estimate that the 2026 COLA could come in around 2.7% based on the latest inflation readings. That means the average retiree benefit, currently around $1,900 a month, would increase by roughly $50 to $60. For those on SSI or SSDI, that increase might be slightly lower, depending on their individual payment structure. But some are still hoping for more. If the government were to adopt a new inflation measure known as CPI-E, which tracks the expenses of older Americans more accurately than the outdated CPI-W, the increase could be far higher, somewhere between $300 and $500 per month for many recipients. Unfortunately, that's unlikely to happen anytime soon. Switching the calculation method requires an act of Congress, meaning lawmakers would have to debate and vote on it before it becomes law. So for now, beneficiaries will have to rely on the traditional formula, even if it doesn't fully reflect their rising medical and living costs. Why the delay matters. The delay in this year's COLA announcement isn't just a scheduling issue, it's a reminder of how fragile the system can be. During the government shutdown, several states reported that food stamp programs and other essential benefits could face interruptions if the situation continued. Millions of low-income seniors depend on these programs to survive. And with inflation keeping grocery prices, rent, and utilities high, even a small delay in benefits can cause real hardship. The truth is, most retirees can't afford surprises like this. That's why the COLA announcement carries so much weight. It tells them exactly how much they'll have to live on next year. A growing sense of frustration. Many seniors say they feel ignored by Washington. They watch Congress approve billions of dollars in foreign aid overnight, while their own benefits are debated for months or even years. Every year, lawmakers promise reforms to protect Social Security's trust fund, yet little changes. The system faces long-term shortfalls, and millions of Americans worry whether their benefits will still be there in 10 or 15 years. It's no wonder some people are calling this the make-or-break moment for retirees. The Social Security 2026 Cost of Living Adjustment, COLA, will get a Trump bump. Here's what to expect and why it might disappoint millions. That line sums up how millions of seniors feel hopeful but cautious. The bigger picture, even though a 2.7% COLA sounds modest, it still represents billions of dollars in extra payments across the nation. But here's the catch: if inflation continues rising faster than benefits, many seniors will still fall behind. Higher Medicare premiums, housing costs, and food prices can easily cancel out any small COLA increase. That's why financial experts say retirees should plan ahead, not just rely on government adjustments. Some lawmakers, including Bernie Sanders and John Larson, have proposed changes that would permanently boost benefits and replace the CPI-W formula. But without bipartisan support, those bills are stuck in Congress. What happens next? The new COLA announcement on October 24th will reveal the official percentage for 2026 benefits. After that, the updated payments will begin in January 2026. If the final number does reach 2.7%, here's what that could mean. Average retired worker, about $55 more per month SSI recipients, around $30 to $40 more disabled workers, roughly $45 more spousal benefits, a smaller but proportional increase. It's not life-changing, but it's something, especially in today's economy. However, many are calling on the next administration to address deeper issues within Social Security, including its funding formula, the retirement age debate, and the long-term solvency of the trust fund. For now, seniors are left waiting again for Washington to deliver answers. Final thoughts in the end: this year's COLA update is both good news and bad news. The good news? Benefits are going up again, and possibly more than expected. The bad news? That increase may not be enough to keep up with the real cost of living. Whether you call it the Trump bump or just another inflation adjustment, one thing is clear: retirees deserve more stability and respect than what they're getting right now. The system needs reform, fairness, and a modern formula that truly reflects senior living costs in America. Until that happens, every COLA announcement will continue to be a moment of both hope and frustration. So, as millions wait for October 24th, one question remains: will this year finally bring real relief for retirees, or just another small raise that disappears at the grocery store? Thank you for watching and staying informed. If you rely on Social Security, stay tuned. As soon as the official COLA rate is released, we'll break down the full details, what it means for your 2026 checks, and how it affects your benefits. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and take care of yourself and your loved ones.